What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope we are all happy, healthy, wealthy. Today I want to take you through a trade recap. I do want to start doing these trade recaps pretty frequently, perhaps every single day, letting you guys know the trades that I take. We took a 20 risk to reward long here in the Nexus. I said last night at 1:55 a.m. I took this. Can't say I'm too confident in the longs, which I'll explain in a moment. Longs have been getting slaughtered, but it is valid. We will review it tomorrow. Well, now it is tomorrow. We are in the long. We are long and strong, and we're going to go over the whole thing. Now, make sure you watch this video to the end because I'm going to give you guys a little bonus on how you could have entered this trade again had you had not entered the original position, okay? So let's talk about why I longed here, why I'm targeting here, and what we're looking at here. So Ethereum, obviously, the rest of the market has been in an excessive downtrend, okay? We are very overextended to the downside, right? We have down, we have up, we have down. We're expecting at the very least lower high, lower low. This is all dead gap space. And if you can see based on our previous range here, none of the highs have been taken, okay? Whenever you do not have a proper distribution, which is essentially liquidity being generated, we are likely eventually at some point going to come back to it, okay? Which basically means there's stop losses here, stop losses here, stop losses here, stop losses here. And eventually, inevitably, those stop losses get short squeezed, okay? So whenever I have a range that looks like this, I always draw out my range like this, right? That's clearly a range. Here's your potential manipulation, and this is your expansion for a bullish PO3. So we know we're looking for longs, okay? I'm not looking to short the bottom. I'm looking for longs, right? So if we jump in to where we were last night and we draw our structure, you can see that we have high, we have low, we have high, we have lower low SFP, and you didn't get your actual break until here. So how did I enter here if we didn't get our break here, right? After we get your break, you're expecting higher low, higher high. How did I enter here? Well, this is what I did, okay? I knew that this was an SFP. However, this was not a confirmed SFP, okay? I knew that we had supply up here. Let's flip to the right thing. So we had supply up here and we rejected off of that supply. Let's make that gray, okay? We hit the supply and we got smacked down again into demand. Okay, remember, I know that I'm looking along because of all the other things that I just mentioned in this video. So when we came in, we hit demand. We actually did get a market structure flip. Now it was an internal flip. Okay, it was the down, it was the up, it was the down, it was the up, and it was the break. And that's why I said to everybody that I'm not too confident yet because it was an internal break. And I let everybody know that obviously, when you're trading internal market structure like this, it's a lot riskier, especially when we had such an aggressive downtrend. But being able to identify that this here was supply, being able to identify that this was demand, and that we flipped structure back up, something that I teach in the Nexus all the time is whenever you hit a zone like this, you hit supply, and then you flip structure against that supply, especially in demand, you got to ask yourself always, who is in control, right? This supply's job is to make a new lower low, right? This is supposed to continue, the lower high, lower low. But if this supply fails, which you saw sign of it failing here with this market structure flip, you got to ask yourself, well, what did I miss? Right? Well, okay, we didn't take the range high, which was my ultimate first target. Okay. And then essentially we have all this liquidity, right? We have all this buy side liquidity as well. So when you ask yourself, what did I miss? And you know that you're looking for longs here and you see signs that supply is possibly failing here, you're interested in a trade. Okay. And so then this is where I marked out my final demand zone coming out of there. So you're in a demand chain, you're seeing supply starting to fail. And this was our long area. And that's exactly when I let the Nexus know right here where I'm confident in the longs. And this was the kicker for me. When we were in here, I jumped down to a lower time frame. We were in our demand zone, right? And I saw this. The moment I saw this, boom, 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 bam, right there. Look at the time, 1:46, 1:47 a.m. right here, 1:55 a.m. By the time it actually broke, we were somewhere here. I waited for the break. I got to let everybody know we got to do things properly when it actually breaks. Right there was the break. 1:53 a.m. 2 minutes later, they got the update. And I said I took it, and I'm not confident in my long, but I still took it. And the reason why I took it, again, is because the internal structure, okay? Now, here's what's interesting. Something I've been using a lot lately, a lot more, are SMTs, okay? SMTs are very powerful in crypto. I know they're very popular in futures, but they are very, very strong in crypto. And I'm under the belief that the only real divergences are SMTs. So let me introduce you to SMTs if you don't know what that is. Ethereum's on the top here and Bitcoin is on the bottom. If you don't know what an SMT is, long story short, it is the divergence between correlating assets, right? So obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum work in tandem along with the rest of the market. If one is making a higher low and the other is making a lower low, that, my friends, is a divergence. Think of your bottom here as the oscillator, right? Whenever you're looking for divergences, you're always looking for your oscillator to make a higher high while price is making a lower low. That, to me, is Mickey Mouse, okay? Those divergences don't work, in my opinion. These are the only real divergences. So when I came at 1:57 a.m., 55 a.m., whatever, and I saw my SMT here on the low and SMT up here, and I know that I was playing internal structure here, and I had this SFP that I could work with, I knew that I at the very least have Bitcoin's external structure backing me, right? I have this external structure because your structure is low, high, low, high, low, high, low. So I knew that when I was entering here, in the event that this structure broke, we're probably going to be safe, okay? And that's exactly what happened. Because I had the SMT, I had more confidence to take this break seriously, despite it being an internal model, okay? So that's basically how I entered this trade. Of course, you de-risk on the first high, right? You have to de-risk there because what could happen is you just SFP here and then roll back over and take the low out, perhaps forming a Model 1 accumulation, right? We do actually have higher time frame zones below us, so I'm not convinced that the low is in across the board, but nonetheless, you have to de-risk on that high. And then what's your next POI? Well, your next POI is all this liquidity, right? We do have some supply up here, and we could very well reject from the supply up here. But to me, it just makes more sense to squeeze out all the shorts, because what's been happening lately is we've been in a very excessive downtrend, as I mentioned, okay? Very, very excessive downtrend, and nobody's been punished, okay? The bears have not been punished the entire way. If they've been shorting and putting their stops above their recent swing high, they've been granted essentially free money. It's been literally down only. So ultimately, I'm targeting that. And then if we can squeeze more out of it, we can squeeze more out of it. There is a world where this high here, 36, whatever, it becomes a target as well. I'm not going to go over that in this video because it really depends on what happens over here. But what I will go on about in this video is how you could have entered this trade if you were not in the Nexus and you were not with us at 1:50 whatever AM, okay? And I want to show you the follow-up example here. So if I were to hide my YouTube stuff here, and you see, so here's what happened. This is the better long, by the way, just for the record. Despite it, being a higher long, this is the better one. So we know we had, at the time, we didn't have any structure flip. Afterwards, we have the down, the up, the down, the up, and the break. So your expectational order flow is higher, low, higher, high, okay? That higher, low, higher, high came into this demand zone, right? So that's what this position was this morning when I did my analysis. Now, I know I'm looking for longs there, and I know that ultimately I'm targeting here. This is how I do my TA. I do higher time frame, mid time frame, whatever. I have my targets, and then I look for entries, and I trade my entries. I scalp my entries based on where I'm targeting the final position for. Remember, my original target on this trade is all the way up at 3272. So hopefully we can make it there. We've already taken profit. We've already de-risked. Our stop's already in profit, so we're good. But this is how I do my TA. So now that I know that we hit our demand zone and that my demand target is up here at 32 whatever, now I can look for entry. So I can delete this. Okay, I don't need this. This turns into a flip zone, as we mentioned earlier. Okay, so this supply's job was to make a lower low. That failed to do so. Demand took control. Now we're in a demand chain. There's nothing bearish about the market right now. This actually should even have a gray box like this. See, we are in a demand chain. Demand is in control. We saw signs. We identified the signs in the Nexus of supply failing for the very first time. We broke that structure. We're looking for the back test long, okay? Now, this morning on stream, we drew this out, okay? And this is actually, in fact, the same play that happened over here. So what is your structure from the high to the low? You have high, you have low, you have lower high, you have lower low. Your expectational order flow is to make a lower high to make a lower low. So we hit the supply zone, and then that supply zone failed to make a new lower low, and we popped out, okay? Which means what? This ultimately turns into a flip zone. This supply failed to do its job, and we are now allowed to long the demand that is created as a result of that supply failure. And so I drew this position out on the stream this morning. This is what it looked like, and ultimately you have to take profit on the next high, so you have to TP there. This is not the best risk to reward, okay? It's a 1.2 risk to reward trade. However, we know that because we hit this zone down here, down under, down yonder, and we know that that trade is taking us up to 3272 or whatever, right? 327. What this, at first you have to de-risk here, but this turns into an 11.4 risk to reward trade. So this is just to show you that, yes, I got a better risk reward down here, but this was the riskier one. You could still follow positions up, right? There's no such thing as missing a trade. If you know how to trade, you know what to look for. There's no such thing as missing the trade, unless they do, I mean, there is such thing if it's like down only like this. I'm not really great when it's down only like that. But when they give you, proper ranges and proper setups and such, there's no such thing as missing a trade. Don't let anybody ever tell you that there is, right? Because if you know what you're doing, you can really get in from anywhere. And that's how I took my trade. So my current positions that I'm in right now are these two here. Okay, the bottom one is my Ethereum long, and I have realized $300 on that. So I'm up $3,000 on that, and I'm up on Bitcoin right now. I did identify this exact scenario this morning on stream on Ethereum, but I didn't want to enter on Ethereum because I had to make the content, and I wanted to make sure that things don't go out of line and whatever. But I actually did enter on Bitcoin. So that top 1,000, that is a Bitcoin long, and that is using the exact same thing that happened here on Ethereum. Remember, Bitcoin and Ethereum work in tandem, and you can always be looking for SMTs and such. Okay, these work in tandem. And if I just show you the exact same thing that happened on Ethereum, on Bitcoin, you'll see it, right? So this was your supply zone. We'll make that red. So that was your supply, right? You had high, low, lower high, lower low. This was supposed to make a lower high, lower low. It failed to do so. Hit supply, popped out, bang, and then you're allowed to long the demand that is created as a result of that supply. In this case, I don't know if we had any single block demand zones. Oh, look at that right here. Okay, right here. You hit the demand, you react off the demand, you pop out from the demand. There's your long, and then up and away you go. Obviously, you have to take profit. Obviously, you have to de-risk. Obviously, it's not going to go up forever and in one direction and whatnot. But if I see another way that I can long, if I see something like this, and then we do this, then I will long it again and ultimately target those ugly highs that we've discussed, pretty well across the board. But this is exactly how I longed it. And this is not hindsight, guys. This is what I did. I did this, and this is the trade that I'm literally in at the moment. That is my entry. My entry right now is 91219. 91219. Right here is where I entered live. Okay. Nothing is in hindsight. It's all there. We did it in live, in real time, in foresight. I posted the updates here. This is the trade recap. Guys, I think I want to start making these kind of videos daily, okay? Because what happens is I actually have quite a few trades in a day. And what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to actually, I'm starting to document it, okay? So something like this, for example, and I think it would be cool to have all of my results, all of my trade ideas, where I took profit and whatnot, all in. And then, eventually, right, it'll look like something like this, right? Look like something like this. And obviously this is, I didn't take any of these, but it'll look like this. It'll look like this, whatever, all the positions. Each position will have text. We'll go over my trades that I took in the day, my profit, whatever, whatnot, the setups that were given, what I saw, what I did wrong, what I did right. And then we'll learn from there. So if you guys like that kind of content, let me know in the comments down below if you want to see those kind of that kind of content, because I've been saying for a long time I want to get rid of crypto. I want to move away from crypto. I want to do more trading. Okay, we're starting to trade futures as well. We're starting to trade ESNQ. So more content on the actual trading. How do you actually get in? How are you executing? What are you targeting? Where's the liquidity? What are the flip zones? What are the demand zones? What are your point of interest, right? What are your ranges? What are your accumulation models, your distribution models? What are you looking at on the high time frame, low time frame, mid time frame, etc.? All that stuff. So I really want to focus on the actual trading element. I really want to focus on the actual execution element. And if that's the kind of content that you want to see and that you think that you'll learn from, let me know in the comments down below. Hit the like button down below. If you don't know anything that I just said in this video, if you don't understand it, everything that I just explained, I teach you very thoroughly in the Nexus trading course. Okay, I have, obviously the Nexus is our premium trading network where you get my calls, you get my setups, you get my real-time updates like we did here at 1:55 a.m. Whoever took that long, GG. But included in all that, you actually get the course as well, and that's included in your membership. So if you come here, enter the nexus.com, link in the description down below. You go to Nexus Trading Course. All of the modules that are currently out are here, and I'm working on I'm starting to plan module 7. So we're still going long and strong on the website stuff. And yeah, that's it, guys, my friends. Trade safe, be good, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and I will see you guys in the next one. By the way, every time I've been saying one love lately, my real home, like my real IRL boys, whenever I say one love, they go, like, we leave the group chat, they go 1 love, 2 love, 3 love, 4 love. We're going to start doing that now. When I say 1 love, y'all got to hit me with 2 love, 3 love, 4 love. So listen, in the comments down below, you already know we got to get the engagement up. My friends, my dearests, 1 love.